it's flush down there. It's pretty frustrating.
Oh yeah.
Hi, this is Lauren from the LKS address. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Our next project in our family room makeover is going to be doing our bay window. As you can see, we haven't even painted this wall or touched anything on it yet because we knew since day one that we wanted to completely make it over. Somewhat similar to a Victorian bay window or a traditional colonial bay window. So we're going to be adding a lot of trim and casing to this. We're going to be staining the windows black just like we've done to all the rest of the windows in our house. We're going to furnish and add curtains. We'll walk you through the design plan real quick and then let's get started. If you're just joining our channel, we are currently working on a family room renovation. We just finished the first project, which was our fireplace, and now we're moving on to the bay window. We're going for more of a traditional vibe at our bay window, which is why we're going to be adding all new trim and wainscoting. We're going to finish it off with custom pleated curtains and some furniture. So let's get started. We're starting off this project by overhauling our existing windows. We have stained all of the windows in our house black. We have a video on that. We can leave a link in the description. So Cam's removing all the trim. He's gonna do a quick sand and then I'm gonna start staining. We're working on staining the window and we have some things that we need to prep for the window casing trim that's about to go up. We're gonna do the same window casing around each of the windows that we have put in the rest of our house, but because we are doing wainscoting at the bottom, which has depth to it, we need to build up our window casing. I'm gonna show you what I mean. You saw us pick up 1x3s from Menards and we're gonna use those 1x3s, this is just plywood as an example, and build up the trim another 3/4 inch so that when we get down to the wainscoting, which is 3/4 inch, the trim is still proud of that. So we have to prep this piece and do some Bondo on the outside edge that you're gonna see before we install it. So that's what we're gonna do now. As we mentioned, we're building up the window casing with 1x3s. We're using wood glue to attach them. We're gonna clamp them, and we also used some blue tape on the edges to make sure that everything was nice and tight while they dried. Once the trim was set, I went in with wood Bondo to fill the gap between the seams of the two pieces. I've never used wood Bondo before, but it was actually very easy to work with. You just have to follow the instructions, work in small sections because it dries quickly, and I will definitely plan to use it again in the future. And while we were prepping the trim, Cam also started cutting down the 3/4 inch MDF sheets into 3.5 inch strips for the wainscoting. The bottom section is going to be deeper to account for the baseboard, but everything else will just be 3.5 inch standard. Yes? You don't think it's straight? Update on the bay window, wainscoting, and casing. We have all of the door window casing built up. It is drying, got 2 sets of that. And then we just cut all of the rest of the flat strips for the wainscoting, and now Kim is going to quickly prime them, and then we'll get this all sprayed the correct color tomorrow. We spent some time staining the windows at the bay window area, and now it's done. We're ready to move on to the next part of this bay window build. As you know, we already prepped all of the casing that's gonna go up into this area. We mounted it to a 1x3. We got it all painted. So now we just have to start cutting and installing, and this is the exciting part where everything starts to come together. We got all of the vertical pieces cut. Now we're going to install the verticals across the whole window, and once they're installed, then we'll measure for the horizontals. We need to make sure the verticals are absolutely perfect because they're butting up in the corners. So we don't want to pre-glue for this situation, but it's going pretty smooth so far, minus one additional Home Depot run for the plinth blocks.
Ooh, that's gonna look nice.
This side, I need a tiny baby shim up here, which I need you to just cut off like a piece for me so I can stick it in there.
You almost have to.
Okay, we ended up removing the trim off the wall, at least the side pieces for now, because we'll overlay a little video. The wall is not straight and it's making it very difficult to do the miters at the corners very cleanly. So we're going back to our tried and true method of pre-gluing the corners. So we've got both of the outside pieces and we're pre-gluing them. They're drying now, and then we'll get those up. Once they're nailed in, we'll take down the middle boards and we'll pre-glue this. And hopefully it makes everything easier and perfect. All right, so we have the pre-glued trim. We tried to get it up. It's still not sitting right. It's just very wonky. It's not flush here. It's flush down there. It's pretty frustrating. This side is not as bad, but we're kind of having the same issue up here. So Cam just ran to Home Depot and we picked up a planer, and not sure like if this is the proper way to do it, but we're gonna try to plane the back piece of the trim so it can sit closer to the wall, because when we were shimming out this side, it's making it so far from the window. There's a huge gap and it just doesn't look good. Never tried planing before, but we'll see how this goes. Ready? So basically the two pieces butt up and the one piece was protruding, and we want a really clean joint. So what we did, like I mentioned, we went out and got the hand planer and we planed off some of the back of the outside corner so that it could sit more flush with the piece next to it. So now you can see we have a really nice joint here. It's not protruding like it was before, and it looks really good. Was definitely a lot of effort. This is not how long we thought this was gonna take, but if you do any home projects, you know, that's the way it always goes. However, on the bright side, we got a new tool and we learned a new skill today. Cam can now plane wood, which will probably come in handy. We'll see how often we use that thing, but let's get these pre-glued and get this last piece in so we can start the boxes on the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Now that it's there. That was 8,000 times worse. It's a new day and we got all of the casing around each window yesterday, which proved to be very difficult to get it nice. Definitely took longer than we thought, but it's looking good so far, and I'm gonna flip you around and show you what we have next. We also started cutting all of the MDF strips for the boxes at the bottom last night. We got the plinth blocks, got the little window sills, so we're ready to go on starting to install all these pieces, and then we can cut the verticals and then start cutting the trim inside the boxes, and this will be on its way to being done with the trim stage of it. It's finally time to start installing the wainscoting, and we're gonna start with the bottom horizontals. These also account for the height of the baseboards because they're gonna support them, and then we're shimming these slightly off the floor, which we accounted for in our measurements. We're installing them with a combination of PL Loctite paneling glue and brad nails, making sure that they're level as we go. Making progress today. We got the verticals installed everywhere. We also just finished up the plinth blocks. We had to build them out so that the baseboard is behind them. So now the only thing left to do is the box trim inside all the boxes, and then we just have to cut the baseboard once the plinths are in and install the window sills, which we have cut already, and we're ready for the next step of wood filling, caulking, and painting. So let's see how much longer the rest of this takes us. For the windowsills, we're using primed 1x3s, and then for the boxes, we're using Cooking Brothers 3/4 inch inset trim. This is part of the same trim we use on the fireplace, so the bay window and fireplace will coordinate nicely. So exciting. We got all of the trim done at the bay window. Let me flip it around and show you. Super happy with it. So we got all of the box trim detail. We got the baseboards and the plinth blocks in. Really happy with how it turned out. And now we will move on to wood filling and caulking. Now we're at the finishing stages of this casing and wainscoting build, and we're at the step of caulking. Caulking is a crucial step to make sure that it looks like a professional finish. We're also going to wood fill all the nail holes and any gaps and prime before we begin painting. The bay window is ready for paint. We did wood fill, we caulked everything, we primed, we sanded. Now it's time for the final coat of paint using our advanced paint in classic gray. And that's what we're about to do. We're also gonna touch up some of the baseboards in the room that we haven't painted yet, so we've got lots of painting to do around here. About to do another first in this room, which is hang curtains. I am trying to map out our curtain rod and our curtain brackets, which I've never done before. Ordering the curtains, which came custom, was quite a challenge to learn how to measure them properly and make sure I did it right the first try. Also making this a little bit more difficult is that we're using an XXL curtain rod bracket because it's going to span the entire bay window. It says it requires 5 mounting brackets, which seems a little bit like overkill, but we're going to listen to the directions. So we will see how this goes, but I think it's going to be the perfect finishing touch for the bay window, and I'm really excited to see it. As I mentioned, I'm going to follow the instructions on mounting this curtain rod. This is an extra large rod, which says it requires 5 brackets. So rather than doing them evenly distributed, I'm installing 2 brackets on each end, the width of the panel, so you will not see 5 brackets, and then just doing 1 in the center. It'll make sense when you see it. That's as far as I can go.
I'm right there. You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. So now line the center up. Yeah, it's too long. I would prefer to cut off the... I didn't know there was a stopper in the middle. Cause like the bracket's supposed to end like right there. Like at the rod's supposed to end right at the bracket, basically. And of course, nothing can be that easy. We were in between sizes on the curtain rod, so I erred on the side of caution and went bigger. Now we have to trim it down a little bit, so we're using a pipe cutter and then just reattaching the ends. If you're interested in the curtains that we're hanging, these are the viral Amazon curtains from 2 pages. They are custom pleated curtains and they are such amazing quality, setting the bar really high for our first set of curtains. And we will leave a link in the description below. We have an affiliate that we can offer you a percentage off of your first pair of curtains. Even though we went through some ups and downs while installing this trim, we are at the finishing stages. Let's get these finishing touches wrapped up, and I cannot wait to show you the bay window reveal. We're gonna wrap up the video here. That is our bay window project. We hope you enjoyed the reveal. This was a really fun, smaller project. It was still a ton of work, I'm not gonna lie, but a nice, smaller, fun little project. Really happy with how it turned out. It's been something I've been dreaming of since the day we bought this house. And next up, we still have lots of projects to finish off our family room. It's never ending. We're gonna be working on building custom walnut cabinets from scratch. Cam and I have never built furniture before, so this should be interesting, and we're gonna try and keep it stupid simple. So we'll see how we do, but we'll see you next time. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, thumbs up the video, and we will see you next time.